got a lot of things that I want to share with you today. So please, if you are coming on, hit the like button, hit the share button. Let us know in the comments where you're watching us from. We love to share our locations with our tribe and with our community, so other people from other areas can see that we're actually participating, we're engaging. So if you're from Atlanta, let me know what part of Atlanta you're from. If you're outside of Atlanta, let me know what city you're representing, what state. Maybe you're outside of the United States, what country you're representing, who you're representing. We would love to know that. And I would love to know also, if you are a coach, if you're a consultant, or if you're looking to get into the coaching or consulting space, please let me know. Let me know. I want you to share it. Like, this is going to be a very interactive show today. So I want to make sure that we can all participate. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're not able to comment and really respond and participate. But if you are able to comment and respond, I'm going to ask you some questions today, and I really want to get some feedback from our community, and I'll explain to you why I need some feedback today, because we have some amazing things going on here at our company, and it's not just for us, but it's for the people that we're serving, the clients, the students that are part of our programs, that are in our mentorship, that are in our university, and the things that we're doing are really targeted and directed towards making our students' businesses better, making our clients' businesses better. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're learning. That's why we're educating ourselves. That's why we train. That's why we show up to get this information. That's why we do the hard work, because we want our businesses to get better. We want our finances to go up, and we want our lives to change. So make sure that you hit the like button, hit the share button, tag somebody, share this information with somebody. Let us know what city, what state, what country you're representing. Please, if you would be so kind to do that, let me know. And also, I want to know if you are actually in the coaching or consulting space. Are you a coach? Are you a consultant? Are you a speaker? Are you a trainer? And guess what? Maybe you are all of the above. I don't know. But I would just love for you to let me know in the comments, like, what exactly are you looking to do in your career? Maybe you're not one of these yet, but maybe you're thinking about being one of these or all of these. I would love to know which one of the four, if not all four, that you're either doing, you're currently doing, and let me know what area, if not all of them, that you look to get into. Maybe there are some specific areas of coaching and consulting and training and speaking that you're looking at getting into, but I would just love to know that. And I'll explain to you in a few minutes why I really want to know where you are with regard to these areas, these industries. It's very, very important. So please let me know. And while you're giving me your information, sharing with me where you at with these areas, I also want to just say congratulations to all of you, everyone that we have different groups of people that are part of our community. Okay, we have our Millionaire Blueprint. This is an online training program that we have for business and finances, and so this is a very, very, very low cost of entry program that we provide for so many people who want to learn more about.
Somebody responded
on YouTube, on Facebook. Okay, good. So we have a lot of people who are part of our Millionaire Blueprint program. It is an online virtual training program. So we teach everything from goal setting to scheduling to pricing products and services. We teach on starting and structuring holding companies, how to file and form them. We have tutorials on how to get your EIN, how to fill your articles of organization out, how to draft an operating agreement. We have documents and forms to walk you through that process. We teach an entire program on financial literacy. We teach the ABCs of financial literacy. We teach you on accounting, on balance sheets, on cash flow. We teach you creative cash flow strategies. We have creative tax strategies that we teach. We even have workshops in this program to teach you about QuickBooks, to teach you about business systems. We have a real estate investing program in this blueprint. So this is a very exhaustive, like very extensive program that we use to provide virtual business and financial training. Now, we have a lot of people that are in this current program, and we give you 1 year access to it. And again, this is not like a sales pitch. I just want to make a point to what I'm asking you about over here. We then have our Millionaire Mentorship program. So our Millionaire Mentorship program, it includes the virtual business and financial training, but our Millionaire Mentorship has 3 tiers. So we have 3 tiers here. We have a gold tier, we have a platinum tier, and then we have a diamond tier. So the difference between the tiers is how many coaching sessions or coaching check-ins that you actually need from us in real time with a real session. So for example, with our gold membership, we typically give you an initial one-on-one coaching session to set you for the trajectory of your 12 months in this program. For the platinum, we typically give you an initial session, and then we provide quarterly check-in. So every 2 to 3 months, we drop in with you to make sure that you're on track and to make sure that you're actually staying on course to what you're doing. With our diamond, we provide those monthly check-ins. So it really just depends on how frequent you need check-ins. So if getting a one-on-one initially is perfect for you, and then you just follow the program with our training online, with our weekly coaching calls, with our quarterly workshops and masterminds, then the goal will work. If you need quarterly check-ins along with those other things, or monthly check-ins, you're going to get the platinum and the diamond. All right. And so then we have our certification program. This is a certification program particularly for coaches, consultants, speakers, and trainers, those who want to get into the space of providing services like someone like me provides, okay? And we have a certification for that. We take you through an entire training program to teach you our system, to teach you our process for coaching and consulting. Very, very important. And then we have our licensing program. Now, our licensing program, this is why I wanted to ask you this question, because our licensing program is not just a training program to show you how to do what we do as a coach or a consultant, but our licensing program actually gives you a license to be authorized to either sell our Millionaire Blueprints, to sell your own version of these mentorship programs, and to use our curriculum, our materials, our products, at least our digital products and services, that you can actually outsource our products to provide to your clients. So we show you in this licensing program how you can actually use your license as a business, because that's basically what you're buying. You're buying a business, or it's very similar to a franchise. So even though if you bought a franchise, you don't necessarily own the patents, you don't own the trademarks, you don't own the proprietary systems and processes or the material, but you have been licensed and authorized to use it to be able to generate money and to monetize whatever it is that you want to do, or blanket what you're doing with this type of curriculum. So again, one of the reasons why I wanted to explain this is because I know that the world is changing. Okay, I think we can all agree on the fact that the world is changing, okay? And what I mean by that is the things that the things that it took for a entrepreneur or for a business owner to be able to go into the marketplace and to make money and to succeed as an entrepreneur in business are not the same things it takes now. Can we all agree on that? So if you're an entrepreneur, if you've ever tried your hand at entrepreneurship, if you ever started a business or you ever started a side hustle, I think you can agree with me today that it's not as easy as it seems, especially if you're going into the marketplace and you're trying to sell a product or sell a service, okay? So if I go out there in the marketplace and I'm trying to sell the product of a tumbler or the product of a hat or the product of some glasses or the service of cleaning or the service of detailing cars or the service of doing whatever it is that I'm doing, it's much more difficult today to provide that service and to sell that product and make money from it than it was times before now. It's getting much more difficult. And there are a lot of reasons why, okay? I'll cover just a few important reasons, but let me give you an example. Some of the reasons why is because there's not a lot of demand for certain products and services that we provide, right? So if I wanted to sell this and I wanted to be the one to provide this product, well, it's not a whole lot of demand for this because you can go to the dollar store and buy a tumbler, right? You can go to Walmart and buy it. You can go to Amazon and buy it. And so if I'm selling this for a premium price, even though my logo is on it, even though I'm, pumping it up and making it look like it's the next best thing since sliced bread, it doesn't mean people are going to purchase it, all right? Because people can buy it for lower costs in different places. Well, the same is with your services. Okay, think about the service you're providing. All right, what industry are you in? Whatever the industry that you're providing a service for or selling a product in, I guarantee if you Googled that type of business in your city, so let's say if you're a landscaper, think about what city you live in, and I want you to Google landscaping companies in your city. Or if you do hair, I want you to Google, stylists, hairstylists in my city. If you sell apparel, I want you to Google apparel companies in my city. Whatever the service is that you sell, whatever the product is that you sell, I want you to just give yourself that test to see how many businesses just in your city are doing things that you're doing. So I want you to see that because this shows you that there's not a whole lot of demand for what you are supplying. It's a supply and demand game, right? If you were like the only one doing what you're doing, then it's like everybody's going to come to you once they find out that you do it. But we live in a different time. We're living in a global market where there are people who can provide services that don't even have to be in the area that you're in, because they may get the deal from a client and they may outsource the service to someone else that can come to their house or go to their office and do it without them as the business owner who made the deal not even being there, having to be there. So I want you to understand why this is important, what I'm saying. So when you know that, when you've done the math on that, and you understand that, and it doesn't matter what business you're in, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you have to accept the fact that doing business in 2022 is not the same as doing business in 2021. It's definitely not the same as doing business in 2019 or any time before we were in this pandemic. Anything pre-pandemic is totally different. But especially now that we're in this pandemic, it's totally different. You have to be able to pivot. And how do you pivot? Well, I'm going to explain to you one of the biggest pivots you're going to have to make if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur. One of the reasons why me and my wife and my company and my team and the people who are with me, one of the reasons why we've been able to like accelerate within the last couple years since this pandemic started is because we understood what was happening And we didn't let it pass us by. And I was trying to tell a lot of entrepreneurs that I was working with at the time, people that I was educating and training and teaching, I was trying to tell them what type of moves they needed to make. A lot of people were just looking at it like, yeah, but it costs too much money to be around you. You know, you charge a lot of money for your services, but it was worth it because I have people today who listen to me and they starting to see how powerful what I was telling them to do is and the type of results they can get. Because if I didn't know what I knew 2 years ago and did what I knew 2 years ago when this pandemic hit, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. And this has everything to do with what I'm talking about right here. So let me kind of break this up a little bit. Even if you are a person who wants to sell a product, even if you are a person who wants to provide a service, it's okay for you to want to do business like that. But in order for you to be able to have a demand for the product you want to sell and for the service you want to provide, you have to have a better value proposition, okay? I know I'm throwing some terms and phrases out there because I only have a little bit of time in the show. You have to have a better value proposition. So that means if I want to sell a pair of glasses, or if I want to be the person to wash your car or do your hair or cut your grass or, you know, clean your house, if I want to be the person to do that, me just coming to you as the glass or the shade guy, or me just coming to you as the landscaping guy or the hair guy or the detailer, it's not going to be enough for enough people to respond to me to keep my business growing and successful. It's not going to be enough. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. So if me just coming to the market and saying, hey, everybody, I wash cars, or I do hair, or I sell apparel, or I do this, I do that, if that ain't going to be enough, then how do I pivot to make what I do more valuable? Well, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to shift my whole position in the market. I got to shift my whole position. And this is one of the things that I'm really working hard on, training my students that are in my Millionaire Blueprint and my mentor program to do. Because if you don't pivot, if you do not make this type of pivot, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I keep telling entrepreneurs this, and I keep seeing entrepreneurs go out of business. And some entrepreneurs are not going out of business. They're just not making no money in their business because they're not understanding the market that we're in, the world that we're in as entrepreneurs and business owners. So I always recommend that if you have a service or a product that you want to sell, and you know you want that product and that service to make you money, well, then you have to look over here in this category and figure out how can I position myself in the market to be all of these. Because this is what you gotta realize. You gotta realize that if you can figure out how to become a better this, it doesn't matter what product and service you're selling, that product and service is going to have more value, because becoming this or repositioning yourself in this space and going to the market in this space is going to make whatever you sell as a product and service better. So that means you actually have to develop, adapt to, and build the muscle to be, even if you don't want to be, a coach, a consultant, a speaker, and a trainer. You have to pivot into that. You have to pivot into that. Like, I can just drop the mic right here and say, you have to pivot into that. Every client that I have in my mentorship program, every student that I have in my blueprint, if they talk to me about starting their business, structuring their business, and scaling their business, they will all tell you at some point in that conversation, Prophet Ramon has already told me, I need to pivot into this. And I need to build my organization in a way that I can be positioned as such in the market so that whatever the products and services are that I'm selling, they have more value because of how I've positioned myself in the market. Now, this is a little complicated. If what I'm saying to you is really kind of like, it's making sense, but it ain't really making sense, it's only because you just need to be educated and trained on what I'm talking about. This is why I created my certification program, and this is why I'm pushing very heavy on my licensing program. And I have an offer that I'm going to give to you before this show ends, because we are going to be hosting our first licensing training here at the end of this month, and I want you to be a part of this training. We already have a few people that are going to be here that have already committed to becoming licensees, and because they have committed to becoming licensees, we are giving them a certification training for free. So that means as a licensee, I'm automatically training you to become a certified coach and consultant. I'm going to show you my system, my process, and because you're a licensee, you actually have legal authorization to not just use my way of coaching and consulting, but you can actually use my curriculum. You can use my materials. You can actually sell my Millionaire Blueprint and add it to your inventory so you can start making money immediately. And again, if you're not thinking about where the world is now and where we're going in the world, and you're not understanding this, I promise you that it's going to be a very, very difficult uphill battle. It don't mean you ain't going to make no money. It don't mean you can't go out there and scrap and hustle and make things happen. But what it means is your scalability to really becoming financially free in your business, your scalability to becoming a millionaire, your scalability to being able to hire your family and work full time in your business, that scalability is limited and really restricted when you don't understand these dynamics. I'm almost at a point in my career, if I can say career, that I just want to show people how to become this. That's what I really like to do, because for me, I'm a consultant by nature. Like, my default mode is a consultant. If there's any role that I play better than any role, I would personally say it's a consultant, even though I am a speaker and a trainer and a coach. I'm a hybrid of all four. But this is like my sweet spot, because I love to build systems. I love to build processes, and I like the infrastructure side of business and even ministry. I love the infrastructure side. And so even though I speak and I train, I like to create curriculum. I like to create content. I like to create material that can be duplicated by other people who want to be in that space. And I've always done it since I've been an entrepreneur. Even in ministry, I've always done it. When I first started in ministry, within the first 6 months of me being ordained in ministry and preaching the gospel, within the first 6 months, I created my first ministry manual for the church that I was going to. Literally, I created a ministry manual. And so I put together this whole exhaustive manual for the members of the church. When we had members that joined, we knew how to onboard them and take them through a discipleship process to familiarize them with the fundamentals of the faith, the fundamentals of their walk with God, and the basics of our ministry. And then we launched a leadership program. Like, I've always been that person, right? And so my biggest assignment this season is really to help people like you understand you just cannot scale a product or service that you're trying to sell enough, especially if you don't understand how this will make your products and services better, and it will make you more of a demand in the market, because you're not just trying to sell people a product. You ain't just trying to sell a service. You're actually providing a service, but the service that you're providing is that of a consultant, that of a coach, that of a trainer, somebody who can educate people and bring awareness to people in that specific industry or market. This is the game, y'all. I'm telling you, this is the game. I pulled up a statistic Matter of fact, if you agree with me or if you understand what I'm saying, I want you to give me some feedback in the comments. If you have any questions about coaching or consulting, I would love to answer those questions if you have any. Because again, I would love to know how many of you really know you're supposed to be a coach. How many of you know that you're supposed to be a consultant? But if you are, do you know how to coach people? Do you know how to consult people? Do you know how to assess a client? Do you know how to process that client? Do you know how to onboard them into your program? Do you know the steps that you need to walk them through in order to make sure that whatever the time is that you're working with them as a coach or consultant, that they're hitting those milestones? Do you know what information you need to provide for them? What type of complimentary training and education do you need to provide for that client? How do you conduct those coaching sessions? How do you conduct those consulting sessions? Like, you have to know these things. If you don't know these things, nobody's going to hire you. Nobody's going to hire you to do it. It's just as simple as that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really starting to push into this direction, because I don't want to just teach you how to start a business, how to structure a business, if you're not going to be able to scale that business. Because if you're in a certain business and you don't understand how coaching and consulting and training works with that specific business, then you're going to just kind of like be beating a dead horse, and you trying to figure out like why nobody ain't buying my services, why I can't make money selling my products, when the truth is you're not in the same type of entrepreneurial market. The business world is not the same anymore. And there's so many systems, there's so much technology, there's so many new advances in business and in entrepreneurship that are coming into the market, that they are becoming deflationary. All right, they're becoming deflationary, meaning that there's so much going on in the business world, right, that the value of your products and services as a business owner is going down. Your value as an entrepreneur is going down. And it ain't really because you're not good. It ain't because you're doing something bad. It's because there's so much information, there's so much technology, there are so many new types of systems and infrastructures and ways of doing things that are flooding the market. They flood the market, and so your value goes down. It's kind of like if, let's say if you walk into a room and you got one pair of glasses and it's beaming, it's real bright, and you're the only one with a pair of shades, right? And so when you walk in the room and it's 1,000 people in the room and you're the only one with shades, your shade's gonna be valuable, right? Because everybody's like, oh my God, how much you charge to buy those shades? Because you're the only one with them. Because it's 1,000 people in the room and it's only one person with shades. But then the next day you come back in the room and it's 1,000 people in the room, but it's 10,000 pairs of shades. Think about that. So for every person, there are 10 pairs of shades in that room. Your shades ain't value no more. You're valuable no more. And that's what's happening with businesses today. If that's making sense. That's what's happening with businesses today. What's happening with businesses today, excuse me, is that we are operating with products and services that ain't valuable no more. And we're trying to figure out how can we make that product more valuable? How can we make that service more valuable? And that is one approach you want to take. But how can I make me more valuable? How can I make my business more valuable? I'm telling you how you're going to do it. You're going to have to learn to become this. I wanted to give you a statistic real quick as well. Man, this game I'm giving y'all, I wish you knew how valuable what I'm saying to you is. If you knew how valuable what I'm saying to you is, you'll be like, man, this dude, how you even giving this stuff away for free, bro? I'm telling you. Like, I guarantee a lot of you going to be looking back 2 or 3 years from now and saying, man, what that video at, or those videos that Ramon was talking about this stuff. Because it's already true. It's already coming true. That's why it's hard for people to make money. That's why it's hard for people to be successful in business. That's why it's hard for people to really scale. It's not that you can't make money, but can you scale? Are you scalable? Meaning that, Are you able to take what you're doing and do less of it and pivot into making more money even without doing more work? It's hard to do that, because if you're stuck pushing a product or providing a service and it's depending on you and your time and your effort and your labor, it's because you have not pivoted. It's because you have not pivoted, and it's because you probably don't know how to pivot, and you got to learn this, okay? All right, so let's see here. I want to give y'all a statistic real quick. Here's a statistic. Man, when I read this, I was like, wow. So there's a study that was done that showed e-learning, like online education and training, will be probably a $350 billion industry. It would be a $350 billion industry by 2025. That's what studies are showing. Studies are showing that education, and we're not talking about like college education. Okay, we're talking about online education. We're talking about coaching. We're talking about consulting, to some extent consulting. We're talking about training. And a lot of this education, a lot of this coaching, consulting, and training, a lot of this is not like academic, meaning that it's not the type of stuff you're going to go to, what do you call it? Like a technical school or a community college or university and get. A lot of this online education, coaching, consulting, and training is really industry. It's really industry specific. So this whole world of online education, which is some version of consulting, coaching, and training in specific areas, it is estimated to be around a $350 billion industry by 2025. Well, it's 2022 now. So we're talking about within the next 3 years, studies and surveys are showing within the next 3 years, this space is going to be at least a $350 billion industry. I'm talking about the online education. So let's just generalize it and say online education by 2025 is going to be about $350 billion industry. Okay, let's just say that. Let's just say online education is going to be at least a $350 billion industry by 2025. Okay, so that's 3 years. Now, when we think of online education, as I said, it's not your typical academic education. It's not your technical school, community college, university education. But a lot of this online education is going to be based on industries that people are in who sell products and services like yourself, but who have taken their experience in selling that product or service, who have taken their experience in being really good at that and developing curriculum, developing material, developing programs that are not just providing the service, but this curriculum, these materials and programs are central to showing other people how to be even better in that area, or people who need those services and products, how to best choose the people to get those products and services from. That's where the online education is going to come in at. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you can figure out how to become a coach, if you can figure out how to become a consultant, if you can figure out how to become a real speaker, a real trainer, on a real level, and you're able to get better at doing these things, and then packaging what you now do and what you now know into the form of either online education or some version of that type of education outside of the other educational systems and institutions, you're going to be a part of this $350 billion industry within the next 3 years. The people who don't make this transition, number one, they won't be a part of this. And number two, we don't even know if they're going to be in business. Well, I'm super excited to take a few moments to share more information with you about our all-new licensing and certification program. Now, of course, if you're on my email list, if you're on my text message list, if you're anywhere near anything that I'm doing, I'm sure you've already gotten information from me, and maybe you've already visited my university platform and you have read through the catalog, and of course you've probably already seen the price of our licensing and certification program. However, just within the last 6 weeks since we've launched it for 2022, I've had quite a few people reach out to me, ask questions about our licensing and certification program, and just wanted more clarity, more understanding, more information on what the licensing and certification program is about, how it works, and what exactly is the benefit of becoming a certified coaching consultant under my banner and being licensed under my banner. So I want to take a few minutes to share this information with you. And again, even if it's not for you, maybe you know someone who's either a coach, a consultant or trainer, or who intends to move into the coaching, the consulting and training space, but just don't understand what exactly they're doing, and they need some education, they need some training, they need someone to mentor them in that. And so I'll start by saying, first and foremost, my wife and I, we started out 19 years ago as a two-person real estate team. And the unique thing about real estate is it gave us an easy entrance into consulting, because you're pretty much consulting clients on any level when you're in real estate, when you're in lending, when you're providing certain services like that. And so because my wife and I started building so many amazing relationships, we're talking about 19 years ago, we started consulting investors. We started consulting landlords and individuals who wanted to move into investing but just didn't know the business side of it, the financial side of it, and they just didn't know how to set up the right structures to succeed in real estate investing. And of course, after several years of my wife and I providing those services, it opened the door for us to move into the commercial space, and we started providing consulting to those who were working with developers, associations, property management companies. And it was definitely a more sophisticated area of consulting, but we realized that the services of consulting, the services of coaching, the services of training were not just needed for people who were in real estate, but these services were needed for individuals who wanted to figure out what direction to go with their finances, entrepreneurs who just didn't know how to properly start, structure, and scale their businesses, or how to expand it, or what systems were needed. And so that's what brought about my wife and I launching our coaching program, our now Millionaire Mentorship program. It played a very important role in us launching Ramon Preston University and our Millionaire Blueprint, to make sure that we were providing these sophisticated consulting and coaching services in a way that was easy for people to get access to, but also it was affordable, because in the real estate arena, especially when you're consulting associations and divisions, and you're consulting developers and investors, they have so much money, they care nothing about maybe a $10,000 to $20,000 consulting charge to help figure out what their issues are. Now, with that being said, the consulting space, outside of just coaching and education, the consulting space is a very tight-knit space. Just in case you don't know that, and you probably know that by now, because consulting firms are very sophisticated, they cost a lot of money, and they typically don't do business with individuals or entrepreneurs or business owners who do not have the financial backing to afford their services, whether it's short-term or long-term. And most consulting firms, they have proprietary systems and processes, meaning that whatever the systems are that most consulting firms use to provide their services, whatever the processes are that they use, they don't just give that secret sauce away, because they're not going to empower their competition to do what they're doing or to even do better. They're going to keep it within themselves. And when they hire people to join their consulting firms, you typically have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that you're not going to disclose this information to anyone else. You have to sign a non-compete agreement when you leave that firm. And I've talked to people who have left firms like that and who've had to sign 5-year non-compete agreements, meaning that they promised not to start a competing business for at least 5 years, and it couldn't be within a certain range of where that particular company was. Now, why is that important for what I want to share with you about our licensing and certification program? Well, because if you are intending to become a coach, even if it's not a business and financial coach, it may be a life coach, it may be a transformational coach, it may be a health coach, it may be a relationship coach. What you may not understand is that space of coaching is extremely saturated. And coaching outside of consulting and training, just coaching alone, is more of a personal, practical version of what you may understand to be a more professional, sophisticated version of consulting. Now, again, this is a learning curve. This is something that you have to be able to differentiate. But just to explain what I want to explain to you and make my point, if you are intending to be a coach, maybe you're already a coach. You probably already see that it's a very competitive market. There is so much supply that the demand for your services are low, and it's very hard to acquire clients. But guess what? Whether it's coaching, consulting, or just training and education, information is everywhere. So you have to have a very unique way of providing coaching and consulting and training, not just to get the attention of people in the market who may not even know they need what you have, but to even acquire them. And so this is why I wanted to put together a licensing and certification program. Number one is because I believe our community, the faith community, we need people who could level up to become more professional experts as consultants, coaches, and trainers and influencers. We need more of that, not just in the ministry, but we definitely need that in the marketplace. Number two, I also know that once we start making this evolution into the marketplace as experts, be it consultants, coaches, and trainers, it's going to make our communities, our churches, and the people that are in our ecosystem, it's going to make their lives and it's going to make their businesses better. So I don't want to just go into these rants. I want to be very clear with you so that you can understand what my licensing and certification program is about. Now, why am I referring to this program as a licensing and certification program? Because it's actually two programs that I'm merging into one. On one hand, I'm providing a certification. I hope I spelled that right. Certification. My Google board is a little slow, but I'm providing a certification for coaches and consultants. So what that means is I am training you on the systems and the processes that I use to provide consulting and coaching to my clients. Now, my systems and my processes are proprietary, just like any other consulting firm, which means that these are the systems and processes I've created. I actually have a 5-step process that I use, but it's proprietary because it's not something you're going to find other people using in the way that I use it and my company uses it. But I do know that if you're going to consult, if you're going to coach, if you're going to become a trainer and an influencer, you have to have the right system and the right process on how to get the attention of potential clients. How are you going to walk that potential prospect or lead through client acquisition? Do you have a client acquisition process? Once you acquire the client, what is your onboarding process? Once you onboard the client, what is going to be your assessing process? How are you going to assess that client? How are you going to develop the game plan for that client to make sure that you get them from goal to the result? So this is an entire system with processes that you have to learn if you're going to be successful as a coach and as a consultant, which by default, as a coach and a consultant, you're going to be a trainer. So with this program that I've introduced for the last 6 weeks, I am providing the training for you to be a legitimate certified coach and consultant. Now, I know a lot of people who have gone to certain schools, they've gone to certain institutions, they've taken certain courses, and they've come out with papers to say, hey, I am a certified coach, I'm a certified consultant, I'm a licensed trainer. The problem is they don't know how to actually do it. All they do is just say that this is who they are and this is what they do, but they don't know how to actually do it because this is a profession in and of itself. It's a space, it's an industry in and of itself, and you have to know exactly what you're doing. And if you have not realized it, you will realize that you may get some of the information for this space on the surface, but the real secret sauce is something that most people are not going to give you, especially if that's the business that they're in. They're not going to teach you for a couple $1,000 their secret sauce so that you could go out there and be their competition. It's just not going to happen. And guess what? I'm not going to do it either. This is one of the reasons why, along with the certification, I am providing a license, because I know if you go out there and I train you on my systems, on my processes, and you're able to use it, well, unless you are licensed to utilize that information, unless you are certified to have access to the curriculum, to the material, to the intellectual assets of what that business actually looks like, when you provide it to a client, you're still not going to be able to do it. This is why we have a marketplace full of people who are consultants, they're coaches, they're trainers. They have no material, they have no curriculum, they have no content, they have no processes, they have no systems. And I want to change that narrative. Let me change this right here. I'm not going to say I want to change it. I am changing the narrative because I have built a 7-figure business on professional, sophisticated consulting, coaching, and training. And I know I have the capacity and the capabilities of helping you do the same. So this licensing and certification program is going to offer you the training that you need to really become a legitimate certified coaching consultant. You're going to know what system to use, what process. If you don't have your own, you're going to be licensed to use mine. As a matter of fact, because you are a licensee, you're not only coming into partnership with me, because it is a partnership. It's very similar to purchasing a franchise. You're not reinventing the wheel when you purchase a McDonald's franchise or a Starbucks franchise, but you're just licensing the intellectual assets of their brand, their products, their services, their systems, their processes for what they do and how they do it, and it's making your life easy. Not only am I giving you this information for the certification training, but as a licensee, I'm going to show you how to structure your entire business system around coaching, consulting, and training. Now, if you have been a part of any of my workshops, if you have been a part of any of my masterminds, God knows if you're one of my clients or if you're one of my students, you're already familiar with some of this language, and you may have had an opportunity to go through an assessment or some sit down in a session with me to see that the potential of what you are able to do if you not only got trained to do it, but if you had access to the information and the material and the curriculum, it could just skyrocket your business. So I'm going to be hosting our first licensing and certification training here in person. It's going to be our first one. We have our first licensees who have come on, and we're going to be hosting our first training right here in person on Monday, February the 28th at 10 o'clock a.m. I would love for you to be a part of it. So if you know you want to be in the coaching space, you know you want to be a consultant, you want to be a trainer, an influencer, and a speaker, and not only do you want to know how to do it, but you want to be able to have the right systems to use, the processes to use. You want to learn how to get the attention, how to acquire the clients, how to onboard them, how to service them and process them, and how to bring them through your programs, your systems, and your services. And along with that, you also want to be able to have the authorization to use everything that I have, that I use to do what I'm doing, because I'm teaching you the same system, the same process. I'm teaching you the same things that I have used to build my business, because we're partners. You're a licensee. You're certified under me. So my reputation, my name is on the line, and I have so many different strategies that I can show my licensees on how to literally monetize your business immediately. For example, just give you one example. Our digital program is called the Millionaire Blueprint. If you have not been introduced to that program, or maybe you have, it is an amazing 5-step wealth building system. It's my personal playbook. It is a business and financial training program. It's online, it's education, it's training, it's a lot of lessons, a lot of how-tos, a lot of tutorials. It's just a very, very expanded, exhaustive version, and it's one of the best in the market. I know a lot of my competitors who teach and educate people on business and finance, and their prices are through the roof, and they're nowhere near as good as what we provide just in that one digital program. Well, I'm giving you an example. As a licensee, you can become an authorized reseller. So what that means is you can use your business, use your name, use your brand, and you can offer the Millionaire Blueprint through your business. And when people buy it, when they sign up and become members of it, guess what? You're getting that monetization. We actually have a 90-10 revenue share split with our licensees. So that means if you sell that $1,500 program, the 90-10 revenue share is 10% to Ramon Preston University. That's $150, and that would be $1,350 to you. So just think about it. You can literally sell a digital product just by becoming a licensee. You don't have to do any courses. You don't have to teach any workshops. You don't have to pull teeth. You don't have to do anything but just introduce people to a program that's changing lives, and you can monetize and make $1,350 per transaction. So literally, if you paid for the entire licensing program in full, I can definitely guarantee you, strategically, you can put together a plan to get that money back, your whole investment back, and remain a licensee over the course of your relationship with me. So that's just one strategy. I have many more strategies. And guess what? I'm offering a payment plan option so you don't have to pay it all in full. Because again, I don't want to just certify you, train you, and license you to give you access to all of this information so you're not, like hitting a brick wall, beating a dead horse, trying to reinvent the wheel, and it never works. But I'm looking at it as a partnership. I want to partner with people. One of my goals is to have licensees all around the world, definitely in the United States of America, and particularly in many cities that I know are looking to move into the digitization of this world. And guess what? Studies are already showing by 2025, the consulting, coaching, and educational space online in particular, it is going to be a $350 billion dollar industry. And I think those numbers are low because that's really just towards the online education. If you add the consulting and the coaching with the strategies that we're using and with what we've proven to work for individuals and entrepreneurs, I believe that number is closer to 500 billion. So I want you to get in. I want you to be a part of it. I want to train you personally. I want to give you my secret sauce. I'm literally pivoting my entire organization to be the industry leader in coaching coaches, consulting consultants, training trainers to build 6- and 7-figure businesses. And I want you to be one of the first millionaires in 2022 to come out of this incubator, to come out of this program, leading, succeeding, and building a legacy for you and for your family. So all you have to do is just text the word certify to 678-922-1963.